Alrighty, so back in the lab. Woke up feeling good today, so I decided to go for it. This is my third day in a row this week. If you haven't been watching the previous videos, basically what's going on right now is that I'm not eating enough to basically to maintain muscle growth, or at least to, I guess, sustain muscle growth. So I've learned, this is just my personal thing, but I've learned that it's better to train when you're like to train more frequently as you're eating more. And if for some reason you can't eat as much, then to train a little bit less frequently, but not to stop. And this is all due to the fact that I just moved here, don't have a job yet. I've been applying to a bunch of different jobs, and I'm looking to find a way to support myself and to pay for my own food. I don't want my parents to have to pay so much money for me to eat like a pig. So anyway, I'm doing my best to eat a lot of food during the day, so that the next day that comes, I can wake up and get to the gym. It's gotten to the point, I've been doing this for several months now, and it's got to the point where, like, if I can't go to the gym, I actually I feel like almost like not like a void. I feel like there's something missing from my day, and I need to go to the gym. It's something that I know is gonna make me better, and if I miss a day or miss 2 days or miss 3 days, automatically I can deduce from past experience that my progress is gonna be slowed down. I've definitely had experiences of being inconsistent in the gym and not seeing results from that, and so I don't want that to happen yet again. I want that to be a different story this time around. I want to be consistent, and I know that I'm on the right path because I'm already seeing results. My legs, my posterior, which is my booty, and and my back. I don't know if I should use fancy terms or if I just use the words I say, but I'm already feeling a development even in my calves, in my upper back and my shoulders. All this just from squatting has been pretty great to see. But anyway, as of late, my thing is that protein is expensive. I'm not talking about protein powder. I'm talking about just like buying meat, chicken, and stuff in general is expensive due to inflation. It's like it costs a lot of money to have enough protein to eat during the week. So what I've kind of not like I know this 100%, but like I've thought about how dieting and nutrition works, and I've thought about how does my body respond to certain foods. As far as I can tell, your body is made to run off of proteins and fats. So basically, like, you eat the protein and your body repurposes like the amino acids in the protein to rebuild muscle structure for the body. And the fat is for storage for energy, whenever there is not a primary source of energy, then the body turns to fat. If you eat mostly protein and fat, then your body's main energy source should be the fats on your body. What carbohydrates are, I imagine it like it's the guy in the middle. It's right in the middle of protein and fat. So protein, well, I'm like so lost right now. I'm trying to say carbohydrates. Every single source of carbohydrates I can think of, besides maybe like rice, but like the more complex forms of carbohydrates, they always come with a little tiny bit of protein. So like yesterday I ate some oats, and I ate a cup of oats, and that came with 10 grams of protein, which is not obviously that good comparing to like maybe chicken, which I can get like 25 grams of protein at least. But it's a decent amount for it not even being like a main protein source. The idea, I think, is that when there are no proteins available and and not enough healthy fats, that carbohydrates are your number one source of food to maintain your body, because as the carbs are broken down and turned into, basically, like, it gets turned into glucose. I think I'm not really that smart and educated about the human body in that sense of like what happens after digestion, but from what I've heard, it gets broken down basically into glucose or like other similar substances, and that can then be turned into fat. And the protein that's in the carbohydrates can be turned into like the muscles that I was talking about. And I've noticed this because as I've been eating a lot less protein than I need to be, my body is almost like screaming for me to eat just carbohydrates. I've been eating like bananas, been eating cereal, been eating pasta, been eating like anything that I can get my hands on. That, like, obviously I'm keeping in mind that I don't want to eat too much food to steal from everyone else's food, but as much as I can scrounge, basically, I'm putting into my body, and somehow it's keeping me going. The past 2 days I've woken up and looked in the mirror, and I'm like, I feel a lot thinner, a lot like smaller than what I'm used to. And that's just due to the fact that my body is now running off of sugar and a little bit of protein, which is basically what carbohydrates are, I think. This is all just me thinking in my head and theorizing, but it makes sense to me. Um, it's like carbohydrates are just the easiest and quickest form of fuel, but obviously your body would rather have protein and fats. And so this is like the struggle. This is like what our ancestors went through. This is like what cavemen did. Not just cavemen, but up until basically the 20th century, I think, is like you do your best, and you work as hard as you can just to have enough food to keep your body going. And if you can find the right foods that will keep you in the prime optimal condition, then that's even better. And so in the times where proteins are scarce, that's why you think about it, like, if your body didn't really need protein or didn't need fat, then there would be no need to hunt. But for some reason, our ancestors, our primal ancestors, is that the word? But anyway, they always were looking for that protein source, and they were always hunting. If all you needed was just carbohydrates, they would, like, agriculture would be a lot bigger than it was. Obviously, agriculture developed like after the hunter gatherer societies kind of started working together. I guess agriculture formed, but we never stopped eating the meat. And so it's almost like you look for meat, and if you can't find it, then you look for anything else you can eat, and that's where carbohydrates come in. It's basically like a backup option, plan B, if you can't find the good protein source. Anyway, enough of that. So yeah, I went to squat and to do whatever. Basically, I'm just trying to keep myself in it right now. I'm trying to stay consistent, and so I'm getting as much like weight on the bar as I can without putting strain on my body. I just need my body to continue to develop and to thicken, to get more muscle. And even though it's going to be a lot slower if I'm just eating carbohydrates and drinking water, I'm still have like some fat sources, but and I am eating some protein. I'm eating as much as I can find. But I have to understand the muscle synthesis and the process behind it is all going to be a little bit slower just because I'm not getting enough. But over time, I should still see some strength developing, just not as fast as it can be. And keep in mind too, like, my goal right now is to build muscle and to get stronger. So of course I want to be eating in a surplus, as in like eat more calories than my body needs to maintain. And so right now trying to get anywhere close to maintenance as I can. And the crazy thing you'll learn is that if you focus on eating whole foods in your diet, you'll find that you have a very hard time. Typically, you'll find a hard time getting to your maintenance level calories. Basically, we've been conditioned to eat unhealthy processed foods that carry way too many calories. The ratio of calories to nutrients is like way off, and so your stomach fills up with food that doesn't do anything for it, and so the cells are lacking the nutrients, and so your body is screaming for more food of any kind that will provide nutrients. And so that's where a lot of overeating comes in. You're not necessarily eating too many calories, you're just eating too much of stuff that is not good for your body, and so your body then starts to deteriorate, and your heart health and all that stuff starts to go downhill. So people tend to think that overeating and like just being a pig is like the biggest problem when it comes to being overweight. But really the issue is you're not eating enough calories, and the calories that you're eating do nothing for your body. And so your body just has to respond in any way it can. And that's why your body develops fat, because that fat, even though it's not good quality fat, it's the only thing that will keep your body running until it gets proper nutrition. So I've learned that as soon as I started focusing on eating whole foods and I started counting my calories, I realized that that the foods that are healthy, they actually bring the most amount of nutrients and with a lower amount of calories. And so you actually have to eat a lot. And the volume of the food that you have to eat is insane. Like a huge plate covered in food can be anywhere up to like 600, 700 calories, unless you add some fats to it. Fats have more calories. But it's like, it's really a discipline you have to learn to be able to eat that much food. And you have to do it because literally it comes down to your own like discipline and your goals. You have to think in your head. Like now it took me a whole year practicing basically, but now I have no problem eating all that food because I know in my mind, like because I've seen the results, I know that this is exactly what will make my body stronger and make it better. And so I just eat it. And sometimes like I don't even feel like eating anymore. But the crazy thing though is that it's all like mental. It's only happened to me once or twice where I was eating enough food to where my body couldn't take it anymore and like I was like full. But normally what happens is that I feel the need to stop eating long before I'm actually full. And if I just keep going and I finish my plate, I'll see like an hour later that my stomach is actually like it's like it's not even full yet, and I'm still like looking for more food. It's just like, and the crazy thing is that my body in those conditions when I'm eating so much, my body seems to respond super well, and my body kind of tones out, and I see the development and growth that I'm looking for. So all these things I've learned have taught me a huge valuable lesson is that you just have to do things yourself. At some point, you should listen to what other people have to say, but at some point, you need to do it yourself and see what the results are for yourself. You never know what is true and what's not until you see it happen in your own life, until you see it with your own eyes. And so you just gotta treat your own body like it's a science experiment and just do everything you can for the greater good. You just gotta push yourself to limits that you didn't know were possible. And it makes sense to me, in my mind at least, all this eating stuff. Because if you think about it, the only way you see growth is by pushing yourself into discomfort. Obviously, you don't want to feel like any severe pain. What you want to do is push yourself into discomfort and stay there for just for a little bit. And if you do that every time, you'll start to see your body start to respond and to adapt. And it has to be the same. If it's like it's proportional to the same amount of discomfort you'll feel while you're eating. If you only eat what your body wants to eat and you eat until you feel like somewhat satisfied, you're actually not going to see the progress and results as fast as you want them to come. And that's what people have been telling me for a long time is like only eat until you're satisfied. And the longer I've done that, the less happy I've become because I don't see the results. And so I finally decided to screw everything that everyone else had told me. And I decided to do what I felt was right, and it ended up being a great blessing to learn how to eat properly. So you just got to push yourself into discomfort, and when the discomfort hits, just welcome it. You have to know that beyond that discomfort is everything you ever wanted, so you just got to push through it. So anyway, I only did the 2 exercises today, just like I said, trying to stay warm, trying to stay in the zone I'm in, trying to stay hot. I need to put strain on my core in a few different ways, and if I do that, I think that's a good workout in general. It's like I put somewhere close to like 70%, maybe a little bit less on the squat, and I did about like 70 to 80% on the apparently this is not a straight leg deadlift, it's called a Romanian deadlift. I think it's the same thing, but anyway, I've been looking it up on YouTube, and a lot of people call it Romanian deadlift, but this is about 80% of my max on here, as far as I can tell. I've never actually maxed out on this, but anyway, I do it not because I need, I'm not looking to develop my legs so much anymore. Like, my legs have developed, and my legs are strong, I can tell, but my core needs the work, my lower back needs the work, and so I just got to repeatedly, over and over and over again, put strain and stress on it until my body decides to respond. So anyway, that's it for today. See you guys when I see you.